first surgery scheduled March of 2021. I woke up the very next day and I felt wonderful. I had no pain in my legs, which had been a long time. I could immediately tell a huge difference. They sent me home. Adios. I was great. Overdid it one weekend. As the days wore on, that was about day 8, day 9, 10, 11. The pain just got unbearable again. Go back to see Dr. Heller. That mistake crushed the top 1/4 inch of that vertebrae. It just looked terrible. We're at the doctor's office. He said, son, this was going to hurt. And he was right.
When the doctor told us that Frankie was going to have another surgery, it was the moment of, you have got to be kidding me. He was just here. What do you mean, another surgery? And this is going to be bad. Like, it's going to be a bad one. And the doctor told him he was going to hurt. It was not going to be fun. Like, it wasn't going to be quick and easy. I didn't realize how intense it was going to be. And it scared me. It scared me. I worried so much for him. It was just terrifying because I wasn't sure if he'd do well with this one. You can get so wrapped up in your own pain that that's all you think about is pain. I don't want to see that for him. It's heartbreaking. And that's where I was with all that. It was like, I could not fix him. And as a spouse, or even as a mom, you just want to fix it. And I could not fix it. So when the doctor told me that he was going to have another surgery, I just knew, there was no way for me I just had to stand by and watch. And that's the hardest thing to do.
We left the doctor's office, went straight to the hospital, Emory Spine Orthopedic Hospital. The next 7 days of my life was in the hospital. They had to go in from the back. They removed the muscles down the side of the spine. They just like filleting a back strap out of a deer. They cut them all the way down and lay them out so they can get to the vertebrae. Ran 2 3-inch screws down into the sacrum, put the hardware in, cleaned out the S1 vertebrae, cleaned all the bone out of it, put the disc back in, ran 2 screws up into L5 vertebrae, which is, that's a common fusion. The difference for me was that I had fractured or crushed the top of that vertebrae, and it was a mess. 6 days in the hospital, 6 nights away from my family. They couldn't come visit. It was not a good experience at all. The first time that I sat up in the hospital, I'll never forget it. You got to move. Didn't do anything day 1 or day 2. I think it was day 3. They have you roll over and they help you to sit straight up in bed with your feet off the side. I thought I was going to die. I was nauseous. I thought I was going to pass out. Worst pain that I've ever felt in my life. They immediately laid me back down, gave me more morphine, and waited till the next day. The next day comes along, and I knew that they were going to do it again, and I was terrified. I go home on a walker. Dr. Heller says, son, you have completely changed your lifestyle. You're not going to go out of the house for 2 months now. You're going to be on this walker for at least 2 months. You got a long way to go, and this is going to hurt. He was 100% correct.
When Frankie came home, I was just happy I had him home. But there was a lot of pain medicine. There was a lot of sleeping. Boy, it was a test for sure. And we had been through other things with our children and family and stuff like that, illnesses and things. But this was just different. And it affected him so hard. If I just barely, I'm talking, in my sleep, if I accidentally touched his foot, it was over. The pain was so bad, the nerve pain, and like his feet were on fire. And it's like you couldn't even look at him without him hurting. He didn't not want me to be close to him. It was just, he was in so much pain. He just mentally could not do it. And so I just had to be there when he was ready for me to be there. A lot of that was, I was trying to do my own research. How long is this going to take? What can I do? I was just trying to take care of the loose ends that I could take care of, because he just needed to heal and be in his own feelings and process what had just happened, because he was doing so good. And then to be slammed twice with something, I mean, it was awful.
It was a hard, dark time of my life. This is one time that I haven't been able to bounce back. Normally after a week or 2 weeks, you're walking again, or at least feeling like it. I couldn't get out of bed. We finally make it back to Dr. Heller's office for a checkup after 2 months. He agreed. He said, "You're doing pretty good." And I was walking a little bit better with the walker by then. I was still hurting a lot. He said, "Okay, go on a cane. Come back and see me in another 2 months," or whatever it was. Go on a cane. You're allowed out of the house only 2 hours a day. But just the opportunity to go out of the house, to go out to eat with my wife, that was pretty big. Never forget the first time we left the house to go out to eat. We go to the restaurant, and all that was available was a high top, which I thought, that's pretty good. I don't have to sit down so far. I just have to get up in it. And, I'm feeling pretty good. And we order our meal, and it was a little slow in there. I guess about an hour into it, I start hurting pretty bad. And not long after that, I was like, "Honey, you got to take me home. I'm about to die." And she took me home, and I got undressed, and I went straight to bed, and I didn't get out of bed for 2 days. That went on for really 4 months. I'm still in a pretty deep, dark spot, and at times, and when I was laying flat on my back, doped up on hydrocodone, I never watched any YouTube. I didn't know what any of that stuff was. So I started watching YouTube and hunting shows, because that's all I watched anyway, mostly. And I started running across these sheep hunts up in Alaska and the Yukon. Just the scenery, it was gorgeous. And I just prayed that if one day I ever got better, I want to go see. I want to see what that looks like. Made that my prayer. Well, one night, 4 a.m, I'm watching Billy Molls, Modern Day Mountain Man, right? What a cool guy. Awesome shows. He self-films all of his own hunts. He's a good Christian guy, and he has these fireside chats on his YouTube channel. I highly encourage anybody to go check out Modern Day Mountain Man Billy Molls.
He was watching YouTube and all this kind of stuff. And first I'm like, who is Billy Molls? He's having to tell me who these people are. And I'm thinking it's just a hunting show. I've watched him watch those shows all our marriage. And it used to be on TV. Now we're watching it on the computer, And then he was explaining who he was, and he was faith-based, and he just had some really good things to say, and he was encouraging, and it was feeding Frankie's soul. And so that was amazing. But he had to kind of let me know who this guy is. Well, then I find out that he emailed this guy. I'm like, wait, what? He's a YouTube or TV guy. Like, what are you doing emailing him? And dude, you're on hydrocodone. Like, what are you doing? And so we kind of make a joke about his Alaska trip was all hydrocodone based. It was the 3 a.m. we're going to go shopping. She's asleep. She won't know that I've booked this trip. I didn't hold that against him by no means, but it's just so funny that here he was at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning planning a trip to the Yukon or to Alaska, and he had just had back surgery. And I'm like, what are you thinking? I'm telling you, you can't take the hunter out of somebody. Or that drive to do something hard. So he booked it.
4 a.m, doped up. I'm gonna email Billy. When I wrote this long email, I was like, I never do this, and I told him that. And I sent it to him, and he responded the very next day. "Frankie, I've got similar injuries to you. How can I help? I'm here to help you." And so he and I kind of developed this relationship. From that point on, it helped save my life. what it did for me, created the desire to go see, and created a more grounding thought process with God. And you combine those over the next 4 months after I get off the walker, and then you start your physical therapy process, and all this thought going in my head about if I can ever walk again, if I can ever get back the strength to do something like that. Here I am on a walker and on a cane. It was a long shot, I know. And I booked my sheep hunt while I was still on a cane. It meant that much to me to go and see this wilderness that I've never seen, very few people have seen. And that was my motivation to get back in shape. January of 2022 was my first hike up Pine Mountain. Had no business being there really, but I was feeling okay. We were in the gym, things were going pretty good. I was gonna try. Decided to take Ginger with me. Ginger hikes up to the top of the trail with me. Take her back, my second hike, she goes with me again. Where are you going? But she was just there for a lot of that. And she was there at home. I'd be, way before that, I'd be on a walker and she would be in the chair beside her, sometimes even on my chest. And yes, it was Kelly's dog and always will be, but Ginger was very important to me also.
So Ginger, she was my little golden doodle. She was just my buddy. I loved that dog more than anything. She was amazing. She was like my little soulmate. I have video of Frankie and Ginger running around the island in our kitchen, and he would take like the little hibachi tools and make all kinds of noise, and she would run and chase him, and they just had a great relationship. Well, when he had surgery and was able to finally get up and start doing things, Ginger was his buddy. And even during surgery, and if he was in his recliner or wherever he was, she knew that he did not feel good. And so she would be closer to him than she was with me. So she just knew he needed her. He was taken care of with her.
Summer of 2022, somehow, some way, Ginger gets sick.
I took her to the vet. They ran all kinds of tests on her, exploratory surgery, couldn't find out what was wrong with her. All the blood work came back non-conclusive. Our vet sent us to South Carolina, to Columbia, CT scans, x-ray, all this stuff. Everything they sent stuff to California, they sent stuff to UGA, and everything came back non-conclusive.
She never got better. Got to where that she couldn't control her bowels, and Kelly was up, all night trying to get her outside. She got to where she couldn't walk. And, for a year and a half, an athletic dog to not be able to walk up and down the steps, or be able to walk, period. It just finally got to that point to where we had to put her down.
Frankie was with me, and we had to take her. And I do believe that my vet and Frankie literally had to pull me out of the floor, away from her. Like, they had to take her away from me. It was devastating. So it was a lot, things come in threes, and that was the third thing. And I was like, please, no more. And then he started recovering, and I think she helped him through that. I think she helped him over that hurdle of, I'm going to be okay. Now I got to really tackle it. And so Ginger had a purpose, and she was only here for such a short time. But God, she was wonderful, and she was full of love and energy, and she was amazing. She was a healer. Yeah, she was a healer.
At that time, really, I guess I hadn't thought about it. She was important to Kelly for sure, but, I realized how important. I realized how important she was to me. This episode is dedicated to Ginger the Golden Doodle, the sweetest, smartest, and most loving dog I have ever known.